Hey guys, welcome to my channel Hairliciously. Before I get started, I wanted to give you guys a quick update on the status of my hair. I know that I haven't been doing a video on my hair transplant results for a while. Now I'm at about 1 year and 2 months. I'm actually right under my 1 year and two month mark. And so I wanted to give you guys a quick update, show you guys how the hair is looking. It's growing in really well. I think the last time that I got a haircut was about a month ago. And that was just for the sides. I didn't touch the top. And I do want to grow out the top a little bit longer, but I think it's because of the winter season. The hair tends to grow somewhat slower, I think. But hopefully once it grows out a little bit more, I can do different types of hairstyles and show you guys different types of hairs that I can actually do. But overall, it's still holding up very strong. I don't have any signs of shedding or hair loss or anything like that. The hairline looks pretty good. Still a lot of hair, so I really can't complain. But anyway, in today's video, I've actually received an email from several people, some of my subscribers, who wanted to know if you can actually detect hair loss before it actually starts. In other words, people are trying to find out if they can actually predict hair loss in the future before they actually have to go through the whole process of taking medication, going through hair transplants, and that sort of stuff. So until recently, men who are actually going bald, there's really no way for them to actually find out if they're balding or not, other than scrutinizing their hairlines every single day, looking for signs of excessive shedding, looking for hair loss, on your pillow, looking at the shower drain. Interesting enough, I actually did some research, and I did find some online companies that actually claim to provide DNA testing to see if you are actually going to be balding in the future. So the way that this works is that these genetic companies, they analyze your DNA, and the first thing that they do is they end up sending some type of DNA kit into the mail, and all you have to do is pretty much provide an inner cheek sample, get your DNA, and then you mail it off into the company, and then they have these genetic specialists that actually analyze your DNA. And in about 8 to 12 weeks, you end up getting results back stating if you actually are going to bald. And they also give you the percentage of whether you're actually going to be balding or not in the future. The way that it works is that every cell in the human body is comprised of DNA. And there's a long complex chain made of billions of bases called nucleotides. And there's 4 different types of nucleotides in the DNA. We have the A, the G, the T, and the C. And the DNA chain is pretty much packed in 23 different separate packages of chromosomes, which make up our genome. And the gene is a sequence of hundreds, thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of nucleotides. And the human cell actually has 2 different copies for almost every gene in our genome. And together, all of these genes determine our physical characteristics and traits, including whether or not we're actually going to be suffering from male pattern baldness. The loss of scalp hair is known either as male or female pattern baldness, also known as androgenetic alopecia, and it's a very extremely common condition that affects men in about 50% of the cases, and for women who are over the ages of 40, it affects them especially after their menopause. Now, balding is usually considered an inherited trait, but the causes of male pattern baldness is still not fully understood. And the traits are dependent on levels of androgen hormone and the androgen receptor gene. And recent studies show that these genes not only come from the father's side, but also from the mother's side. There's a big misconception that, baldness only comes from either the father or the mother's side, but that's actually not true. Baldness can actually come from both your maternal and also your paternal side. There are several markers mapped to different genes, some of which have unknown functions that are found to contribute to baldness and hair thinning. These markers may assist to the identification of groups of men at a higher risk for losing their scalp hair, and the test also looks for a genetic variation on chromosome 20. There is a pinpointed variation found in a staggering 95% of men who are suffering from genetic baldness. Now, for those with a G variant, they have a 60% increased risk of getting male pattern baldness to severe form of hair loss in the future before the age of 40. And if you're fortunate enough and end up having the A variant in your genes, then you have a 85% chance that you will never lose your hair. So the main question is, how accurate are these genetic tests for predicting baldness? Now, there's some genetic experts who have expressed doubts about the reliability of these genetic tests and indicate that, there's really no way for people to know if they're actually going to be balding or not, while Others have seized on these genetic tests as a potentially valuable tool in forestalling baldness. Now, in my opinion, as well as a lot of hair transplant doctors, I feel that these tests aren't really fully accurate because the accuracy of these tests can range anywhere from as low as 65% to 85%, and they tend to have some type of a high rate of error. I still think that the best way to determine a person if he or she is going to have future hair loss is by a combination of carefully assessing the person's scalp, also looking into the history, family history of male or female pattern baldness, and looking for signs of miniaturization. Overall, I think even if this test were to work, there's really no way for us to prevent baldness right now, other than to kind of, equip yourself, mentally prepared that you are going to be suffering from hair loss. And until we actually see a cure from hair loss, I don't think the genetic testing is really going to be doing much. And I feel like most people who know that they actually have male pattern baldness or female pattern baldness running in not just their maternal side but also the paternal side have somewhat of an understanding that they are, they might be prone to pattern hair loss. And so I'm actually interested in anybody who's actually had this DNA testing done for genetic hair loss. If you've done so, I would love to hear back on your results and if they were actually accurate or not. Please feel to share your results. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. Feel free to like this video. If you guys haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I will keep you guys updated. Take care.